Hi, I'm Jennet Ingle, the 5 Minute Reedmaker. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and click subscribe for me or notify. That way you always know when I drop a new episode, and it becomes easier for other people to find my channel and to become themselves better reed makers and happier musicians. Thank you. I want to talk about planning ahead. And honestly, this is usually a thing I'm pretty good at. I am a planner by nature. I like to think ahead about what I'm doing. But specifically as it relates to reads, I find myself here on December 8th in a place that I am not altogether happy with. I have this big performance coming up in January. It's going to be January 11th, and you don't need to know that right now. I will be sure to let you know as it's coming up. But I'm going to be performing a world premiere concerto with my orchestra here in South Bend. January 11th is the first public appearance I'm going to be making in the new year, and the first gig that I have after returning from my Christmas holiday, which is going to be 8 days out of town and then like another week of quiet time at home. And boy, am I excited about being out of town and having some quiet time at home. All of that is great. But I also know that I would like to walk into a major concerto rehearsal cycle with a bunch of reeds that are well broken in, that are comfortable, that are ready to be played but not overplayed, right? I want reeds that I can rely on because I have showed up with them in public before, but I want reeds that I have not already broken down to death, so that they are projecting, so that they are lively, so that they have the kind of resonance and responsiveness that I want, and I'm not fighting to break them in live on stage with all of my colleagues around me. That's what I want. However, today is December 8th. As you're watching this, it's probably December 9th. Who knows? We are in early December. We are 4 weeks approximately from that performance. And in my case right now, I have one new reed, and I have, I don't know, like 15 reeds that I have been playing and playing and playing, that I have like gotten through long Messiah performances on, that I have dragged myself through Pops concerts on, that I have played even, November-ish and October-ish Masterworks concerts on. I fear that all of my reeds are too old or too new right now, and that I don't have enough actual performing work between now and this concerto to actually have what I want, which is a whole stable of broken in but not broken down reeds. And in order to have this with given the Christmas break, which I had forgotten all about, basically, I would like to have started a few weeks ago, just making sure that in every time I made a new batch of reeds, I pulled something into my case that I could start breaking in. I would like to have started 2 weeks ago, making sure that new fresh blood was coming into my reed case. In general, I think if I were working a normal every week a different gig schedule between now and then, I would not be worried right now, because I would be making a new reed or a couple of new reeds for each week. I would be breaking them in the context of the rehearsal cycle and the concerts. And by the time I got to 4 weeks from now, I would have a nice selection of things that were older, ready, newer. I think I would have what I needed. And the situation right now is not quite that, just because I don't have the hours on stage coming up that I normally would have expected to have. How is this a lesson? How is this helpful? If you have an event coming up 4 to 8 weeks from now, that you really want to make sure you have the right read for. I think the time to deal with that is not the night before your big event, frantically, 2 a.m, cane in your hair, anxious. I think the time to deal with that is now, 4 to 8 weeks in advance. I'm speaking in ideal terms because me, I've screwed it up. I would add an additional read to whatever your normal read making cycle is. If you normally make 3 reads a week, I would make 4. If you normally make 1 read a week, I would make 2. Just go ahead and start pumping up your quantity, because we know that not every read works, and we know that not every read is great. Even when you are a consistent enough read maker that you can expect a blank that is in your hand to turn into a playable read, you cannot necessarily expect that blank that is in your hand right now to turn into your 15-minute solo on stage sparkly dress read. You need a hero read for that. And even if your goal performance is not a major world premiere concerto, even if your goal performance is simply another concert, but one in which you have a big solo, one in which you are playing principal, one in which you are playing English horn, one in which you are playing second oboe, but it's a particularly dangerous one. The time to prepare is well in advance, so that you have time to build the read, to experiment with the read in your practice room, to spend time with the read, to know its quirks, and to adjust it over time. Not today so that you can play it tonight, but today so that you can practice on it again tomorrow, and tomorrow so that you can maybe play on it on Wednesday, on Thursday. Planning ahead is the idea that I want to bring in to you here. What am I actually going to do with my next 4 weeks, 1.5 of which will be spent out of town not playing the oboe? I plan to wind up some blanks tonight that are a little bit more hand selected than usual. Normally, I make my reads very much in batches. I take my gouge, my shape, my cane, whatever has showed up in my little box here, or I take the blanks that my winders have sent to me, because I do outsource a lot of my winding from my business, and I just make 10 reads at a time. I make 20 reads at a time. My intention for this week, knowing that everything that I have already described is coming, is I'm going to hand select a few pieces, like really actually check the cane and see if if it looks promising to me. And I'll wind it up in a special color so that I know that those are designated for me. That doesn't mean that I'm going to end up keeping all of those reads, just that I'm setting an intention. I'm setting an intention that I am going to add 5 reads to my own personal case between now and the time I leave for my Christmas holiday, so that I can practice on them when I get back, so that I can walk into the orchestra feeling great. What is your plan? What metric helps you to have what you need when you need it? This has been a 5-Minute Reedmaker lesson. You can follow these short videos right here on YouTube. You can subscribe if you wish. I hope you will. And if you need to reach me to order reeds or cane, to order a copy of my book, The Happiest Musician, or to ask me a question that I could answer in a future 5-Minute Reedmaker episode, you can find me at jennetingle.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.